The crystalline spires of Lamaria pierced the violet sky like frozen lightning, their surfaces refracting the light of 3 moons into countless rainbow paths. Senna Roland adjusted her ship's descent vector, mesmerized by the planet's natural architecture. After 5 years of deep space exploration, she thought she'd seen everything the universe had to offer. She was wrong. Her scanner beeped insistently, drawing her attention to an anomalous energy signature emanating from the planet's surface. It wasn't the typical crystalline resonance she'd been tracking, this was something different, something ancient. The reading pulsed with a rhythm that reminded her of a heartbeat. "Computer, mark coordinates and begin landing sequence," Senna commanded, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The ship, the Stellar Wanderer, responded with a gentle hum as it navigated through Lamaria's upper atmosphere. As she descended, the crystalline formations revealed their true scale, some reached kilometers into the sky, their faces smooth as glass in some places and jagged as mountain peaks in others. But it was what lay between them that caught her breath, a structure that couldn't possibly be natural. Nestled in a valley of crystal was a temple, its architecture defying the angular geometry of its surroundings. Curved lines and flowing shapes spoke of an intelligence that understood both beauty and purpose. The temple's walls seemed to shift color with each passing cloud, though no obvious light source caused the effect. Senna landed her ship on a flat expanse of crystal near the temple's entrance. The surface was surprisingly stable, despite its glassy appearance. She donned her environmental suit more out of habit than necessity, her instruments indicated the atmosphere was breathable, but 5 years of exploration had taught her caution. The temple's entrance was marked by 2 towering pillars that seemed to be made of liquid starlight, their surfaces rippling like water in zero gravity. As she approached, her suit sensors went haywire, registering energy patterns that shouldn't exist in normal space. "Fascinating," she whispered, reaching out to touch one of the pillars. Her hand passed through the surface as if it were smoke, yet she felt a warmth, a presence. "Most visitors hesitate before touching the pillars of eternity," a voice observed from behind her. Senna whirled around, her heart racing. A figure stood there, tall and elegant, with features that seemed to shift like the temple's walls. His skin had a subtle iridescence, and his eyes held the depth of space itself. He wore robes that appeared to be woven from the same material as the pillars. "I am Theron," he said, his voice carrying notes that reminded Senna of crystals singing in the wind. "Guardian of the Temple of Infinite Wishes. And you, Senna Roland, are the first human to find us in 7,000 years." Senna removed her helmet, letting the alien air touch her skin. It tasted like stardust and possibilities. "How do you know my name?" Theron smiled, and the temple's colors shifted in response. "The temple knows many things. It knows why you've spent 5 years searching the edges of known space. It knows the emptiness you carry within you, the questions that keep you awake in the artificial night of your ship." She should have felt afraid, or at least unsettled, but instead she felt a profound sense of rightness, as if every light year she traveled had been leading her to this moment. "The temple has been waiting for you," Theron continued, extending his hand. "It offers 3 wishes to those who are worthy. But I must warn you, wishes here are not the simple things of human fairy tales. They are transformative, irreversible, and they reveal truths about the wisher that even they may not be ready to face." Senna looked at his offered hand, then back at the temple that pulsed with impossible energy. 5 years of searching the cosmos for something extraordinary, something that proved humanity wasn't alone in its quest for meaning. Now, standing before this being who seemed to be made of starlight and wisdom, she felt the weight of every question she'd ever asked about the universe. "Why me?" she asked, though she reached for his hand even as the words left her lips. Theron's fingers intertwined with hers, warm and solid despite their ethereal appearance. "That, Senna Roland, is what your wishes will help you discover." Inside the temple, the air hummed with potential. The chamber Theron led her to was vast, its ceiling lost in shadows despite the gentle luminescence that seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere. At its center stood a pool of what looked like liquid starlight, its surface reflecting not their images but distant galaxies and nebulae. "Your first wish," Theron said, his voice echoing softly. "Speak it with intention, for the temple reads not just your words, but the yearnings of your soul." Senna stepped closer to the pool, watching constellations swirl beneath its surface. After years of solitary exploration, after countless nights spent staring into the void between stars, she knew what she truly wanted. "I wish to understand," she said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Not just the mechanics of the universe, but its soul. I want to know what makes the cosmos sing." Theron's expression shifted, a mix of surprise and something deeper. Was it concern? "Of all the wishes made here, few have asked for understanding. Most seek power, or wealth, or love." The pool's surface began to ripple, its light intensifying. "The price of understanding," Theron continued, "is that you can never return to ignorance." "Are you certain?" Instead of answering, Senna reached toward the pool. As her fingers touched the surface, the universe exploded behind her eyes. She saw stars being born in clouds of cosmic dust, felt the gravitational dance of binary systems, heard the symphony of solar winds and magnetic fields. But it was more than mere observation, she was experiencing the fundamental consciousness that permeated every particle of existence. Galaxies spoke to her of ancient memories, dark matter whispered secrets of universal balance, and the space between atoms revealed itself as a canvas of infinite possibility. She understood now that the universe wasn't just a collection of celestial bodies and physical laws, it was a living, breathing entity, and humanity was just beginning to dream its dreams. When the vision faded, Senna found herself on her knees, tears streaming down her face. Theron knelt beside her, his presence anchoring her to reality. "The universe," she whispered, her voice trembling, "it's alive. All of it. Every star, every planet, every grain of cosmic dust, they're all connected, all part of a greater consciousness." "Yes," Theron said softly. "And now you are truly part of it too. The understanding you sought comes with a gift, and a burden. You will never see the cosmos the same way again." As the initial overwhelm subsided, Senna began to notice changes in her perception. The temple's walls weren't just changing colors, they were communicating, expressing emotions and memories in a language that transcended words. She could feel the pulse of Lumaria beneath her feet, the resonance of its crystalline spires reaching into space like fingers seeking connection. But most intriguingly, she could sense Theron in a new way. His ethereal appearance wasn't merely physical, he was a bridge between dimensions, a being who existed simultaneously in multiple layers of reality. "The temple chose well," he said, helping her to her feet. "Most who receive this level of understanding are driven mad by it. But your mind was already open to the possibilities." Senna steadied herself against him, acutely aware of the energy flowing between them. "Why did you really let me make this wish? You knew what it would do." Theron's eyes met hers, and in them she saw the same infinite depth she now felt within herself. "Because, Senna Roland, the universe has been waiting for someone who would ask the right question. Your species stands at a crucial threshold, you've mastered interstellar travel, but you haven't yet understood what space truly is. Your wish may have changed more than just your own perception." The implications of his words settled over her like stardust. Her decision to seek understanding wouldn't just affect her journey, it could influence humanity's entire relationship with the cosmos. "Rest now," Theron said, guiding her to a crystalline bench that seemed to form from the floor itself. "The integration of this knowledge will take time. And remember, you still have 2 wishes remaining." Senna nodded, already feeling the weight of the choice ahead of her. With her new understanding, she knew that each subsequent wish would ripple through the fabric of reality in ways she could now perceive. The question wasn't just what to wish for, it was whether she should wish at all. Days passed in the temple, though time felt different here. Senna spent hours exploring her new awareness, learning to navigate the layers of reality she could now perceive. Theron remained close, teaching her to control the flood of cosmic information that threatened to overwhelm her senses. One evening, as they sat in the temple's garden where crystalline flowers bloomed with actual starlight, Theron broke their comfortable silence. "You're ready for your second wish," he said, his voice carrying undertones that resonated with the crystal around them. Senna looked up from the flower she'd been studying. Its petals contained entire solar systems in miniature. "I've been thinking about that. My new understanding, it's shown me things about this temple, about you." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "This place isn't just a temple, is it? It's a nexus point, a place where multiple realities converge." Theron's form shimmed slightly, a sign she now recognized as surprise. "You see more clearly than any visitor before you. And you're not just its guardian. You're bound to it, somehow." She reached out, not with her hand but with her consciousness, feeling the threads of energy that connected him to the temple's heart. "Your existence is intertwined with this place. That," Theron said softly, "is a story that spans millennia. Are you sure you want to use your second wish to know it?" Senna stood, her decision made. "I wish to know the truth about this temple and your connection to it." The garden around them transformed. The crystalline flowers dissolved into mist, and reality itself seemed to peel back like pages in an ancient book. They stood in the same space, but thousands of years earlier, watching as events unfolded around them. "This temple," Theron's voice narrated, "was created by beings you might call the architects. They existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, and they saw potential in younger species like humanity. But they also saw the dangers of uncontrolled advancement. The scene showed beings of pure energy constructing the temple, weaving reality itself into its walls. They created this place as a test, and they chose guardians, beings like me, to guide worthy seekers toward enlightenment. Each guardian would serve until they found someone capable of taking their place." Senna watched as a younger Theron arrived at the temple, much as she had, and made his own wishes. She felt his centuries of solitude, his gradual transformation into something more than his original form, and his unwavering dedication to his duty. "The architects believe that true wisdom comes from understanding the responsibility of power," Theron continued. "Each wish granted here shapes not just the wisher, but the fabric of reality itself. The temple ensures that only those who would use such power wisely are given the opportunity." As the vision faded, returning them to the present, Senna found herself looking at Theron with new eyes. "You've been alone here all this time, waiting for someone who could understand." "Not just understand," he said, moving closer to her. "Someone who could see the truth of what this place is, what it could be." His hand found hers, and the contact sent shivers of cosmic energy through them both. "Your first wish wasn't just about understanding the universe, Senna. It was about understanding your place in it." The implications of his words settled over her like a nebulous glow. She wasn't just a random visitor to this temple. Her arrival, her wishes, they were part of something larger, something set in motion long ago. "The third wish," she breathed, realization dawning. "It's not just a test, is it? It's a choice." Theron's eyes held the weight of centuries. "Yes. But before you make it, you need to understand what's truly being offered. The architects didn't just create this temple as a test, they created it as a gateway to humanity's next evolution. And you, Senna Roland, may be the key to opening it." The revelation hung in the air between them like suspended stardust. Senna paced the crystalline floor, each step sending ripples through the multiple layers of reality she could now perceive. Her connection to the cosmic consciousness had grown stronger over the past days, but with it came an acute awareness of the responsibility she now faced. "Show me," she said finally, turning to face Theron. "Show me what the architects envisioned." Theron waved his hand, and the temple's walls became transparent, revealing the universe in all its multidimensional glory. "Humanity stands at a crossroads," he began, his voice resonating with the temple's energy. "Your species has begun to reach for the stars, but you're still bound by the limitations of your current form, your current understanding. Images flowed around them, future possibilities, paths not yet taken. Senna saw humanity spreading across the galaxy, but in different ways. In some visions, they remained as they were, conquering and colonizing. In others, they had evolved, becoming beings of pure energy and consciousness, living in harmony with the cosmic fabric itself. The architects believed that advanced species should choose their own path, Theron continued. This temple, and others like it scattered across the universe, were created to offer that choice when a species was ready. Senna felt a pull toward him, not just physical but on every level of existence. Their time together had created something profound, a connection that transcended normal human experience. And you think I'm meant to make this choice for humanity? Not exactly, Theron said, moving closer. You're meant to be the catalyst. Your final wish could open the gateway, showing humanity the possibility of evolution. But the choice would still be theirs to make, individually and collectively. He took her hand, and their energies intertwined naturally now. But there's more, he said softly. The Guardian's role isn't just to wait and watch. We're meant to guide, to teach, to help those who choose transcendence understand their new existence. And you've been doing this alone, Senna realized, feeling the weight of his solitude through their connection. Until now, he replied, his form shimmering with emotion. Your first two wishes weren't random, Senna. You asked to understand the universe, then to know the truth about this place. No other visitor has ever chosen those paths. They always wish for power, for wealth, for personal gain. The implication struck her like a supernova. You're asking me to stay, she whispered. To become a guardian with you. I'm offering you the chance to help shape humanity's future, he corrected gently. But yes, it would mean staying here, learning to fully use the temple's power, helping others as they find their way to transcendence. Senna closed her eyes, feeling the pulse of the cosmos through her enhanced awareness. She thought of her years of solitary exploration, searching for meaning among the stars. She thought of humanity, standing on the brink of a transformation they couldn't yet imagine. And she thought of Theron, who had waited centuries for someone who would understand not just the universe, but him as well. The final wish, she said, opening her eyes to meet his gaze. It has to be exactly right, doesn't it? The words have to match the intention perfectly. Yes, he confirmed. The gateway can only be opened by a wish that comes from complete understanding and acceptance of what's being offered. Senna looked out at the swirling possibilities that surrounded them, each potential future glowing with its own unique light. The weight of the choice pressed upon her, not just for herself, but for all of humanity. Standing in the heart of the temple, where reality itself seemed to hold its breath, Senna felt the convergence of everything that had led her to this moment. The years of searching the stars, her first encounter with Theron, the profound revelations of her wishes, it all crystallized into perfect clarity. I remember something you said when we first met, she said, turning to face Theron. About wishes revealing truths about the wisher that they might not be ready to face. Her hand found his, their energies merging in a dance of starlight. I think I finally understand what you meant. The temple's crystalline walls pulsed with anticipation, and the pool of liquid starlight at the center of the chamber began to ripple without being touched. Senna could feel the weight of countless civilizations that had reached this point before, their echoes resonating through the cosmic fabric. My final wish, she began, her voice carrying the harmony of newfound purpose, is to transcend the boundaries between guardian and seeker, to become a bridge between what humanity is and what it could be. I wish to share the gift of understanding, to help others find their way to this threshold, and to do so not alone, but in partnership with one who has shown me the way. The words hung in the air for a moment, shimmering with potential. Then the temple responded. Light erupted from every surface, not the gentle luminescence they had known before, but the raw power of creation itself. The pool of starlight rose into a column that enveloped both Senna and Theron, their forms becoming fluid, merging with the energy around them. In that moment of transformation, Senna experienced everything at once, past, present, and all possible futures. She saw the paths that would open for humanity, the slow but steady awakening as others found their way to the temple. She felt her consciousness expand beyond the limitations of physical form, becoming something both more and less than human. When the light finally dimmed, she and Theron stood transformed. Their bodies shimmered with the same ethereal quality, existing simultaneously in multiple dimensions. Through their deepened connection, she could feel his joy, his relief at no longer being alone in his eternal task. "The temple has accepted your wish," he said, his voice carrying new depths of resonance. "And so much more. You didn't just choose to become a guardian, you've created a new way forward." The architects never imagined that two guardians might work together, sharing the task of guiding others. Senna explored her new awareness, marveling at how natural it felt. Because they didn't understand that evolution isn't just about transcending physical limitations, she realized. It's about transcending the boundaries between self and other, between guide and seeker. Together, they moved to the temple's entrance, where the crystalline spires of Lamaria stretched toward the stars. With her enhanced perception, Senna could now see the subtle networks of energy that connected this place to others like it across the galaxy, waiting points of light for humanity to discover when they were ready. "They'll come in their own time," Theron said, reading her thoughts. "Some seeking power, others seeking wisdom. And we'll be here to show them that what they're really seeking is the courage to evolve." Senna smiled, feeling the rightness of her choice settle into every particle of her new existence. "And in teaching them, we'll continue to evolve ourselves." The three moons of Lamaria cast their light over the temple, their rays refracting through the crystalline structures in patterns that seemed to mirror the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. Senna's ship, the Stellar Wanderer, sat where she had left it, a reminder of the journey that had brought her here. She would send it home with a message, not a declaration of discovery or a call for others to follow, but a subtle beacon that would resonate with those ready to ask the deeper questions about humanity's place in the cosmos. As the first light of Lamaria's sun began to peek over the horizon, Senna and Theron stood together at the threshold of the temple, guardians of humanity's potential, partners in an eternal dance of guidance and growth. Her third wish hadn't just transformed her, it had transformed the very nature of what was possible. The universe stretched out before them, infinite in its complexity, and now they had all of eternity to explore it together, helping others find their way to the same threshold of transformation, one wish at a time.